Hello all, welcome to my channel, and today we will solve this LeetCode problem, that is a valid anagram. That is LeetCode question number 242, and here we are given with two strings and we have to tell whether these two strings are anagram or not. We have to return true if they are anagram. So by anagram definition we can go through it. This is an anagram is a word or phrase formed by rearranging the letters of different words or phrase, typically using all the original letters exactly once. So if we are given this anagram and this other letter, so here a is existing three times, and so in this other word as well. So this is basically one permutation of this original letter, original word, and so to solve this problem, before jumping into it, let's go through the constraints as well. We are given the length of both the letters between these values, and by these values it means we are not given null or anything, null or empty string, and all these letters are lowercase, so we don't need to worry about the uppercase thing and all. So the naive approach that we can start with is to, so as I told you, like this is one permutation of this string, so we can find all the possible permutation of this string and then check whether all those permutation is having this or not. So that's one very naive approach, but again that will take a huge time because we need to create all the words from the original word by all the permutation, and so that is a very lengthy solution. So instead of that, what we can do is we can optimize it by, let's say, if we are sorting this first string and also sorting this second string, so ultimately we will have a sorted character array, and we can compare if all those characters are in the same place as in here or not. So basically if we sort both these things, we can directly compare the words. So that's another solution. So to demonstrate, I can tell, like if we are given a word like A, B, C, A and B, C, A, so these two words are given. This is S and this is T, the first input and second input. So by sorting this, what we will get is A, B, C, and sorting this will again output into A, B, C. So if there is any character present in this that is not present in this character, that will come out as well, right? And then the string will not be equal. So, and now we can directly compare these strings and say whether these are anagram or not. So the time complexity, if we see here, if it is having a length of n, and obviously if they are having a different length, we can directly return false. So this will also have a length of n, then only we will go ahead with sorting and comparing. And then to sort any array of length n, we know we have the time complexity is big O of n log n, and same here, right? So same for both the case, and so this is also n of log of n, and if we add this, the overall time complexity will come as same, this n of log of n. But again we can still optimize this solution, and to see that solution, so there is this basic approach. What we can do is like A, B, C, and this B, C, A. Okay, so these two words are given. Then what we can do is we can use a hash map. So in hash map, what we will do is we will insert this first character, and if it doesn't exist, we will give a value of like A, and the key of A and value as 1. Okay, if it is again happening, it is again if we are encountering this again, then what we can do is we can increment the existing value by 1, so it will become 2, and so the B will become 1, C will become 1. Okay, so to put all these values, the time complexity would be order of n only, right? Because we are just iterating over this array of characters, and this again what we will do is we will pass on this map, and we can decrement the value as we encounter the characters in this second string, right? So in this approach, what we will do, we are encountering B, so we will check whether B is present or not. If B is present, then decrement the value, right? Decrement the value to 0. So we encountered C, we will decrement the value to 0. So A, it will decrement to 1, and A then decrement to value 0. So ultimately, as a final step, what we will do is we will iterate over each entry of this map and see if any entry has a value that is not equal to 0. Okay, if that value is not equal to 0, then we directly return it as false. Return false if entry value is not. Otherwise, if the iteration has completed, then we will return simply true. So let's go to the code and see what the algorithm will look like. So what we are doing is first we have to create a map of character and integer, and we can say it like character frequency, as we are storing the frequency of each character present in first string, right? Then this is a new hash map. Okay, so we are using hash map because insertion and deletion is very optimized, and it's O of 1, basically most optimized thing. So now iterate over each character in the first string is dot length. Then what we have to do is to dot get or default s dot caret index I, otherwise return 0. So existing, so if this character is already existing in this character frequency, then we have to increment this value, right? Otherwise it will just directly return 0, and we will put 1 value there, right? So character frequency dot put s dot caret I comma plus plus existing. Okay, so we are using this. So this will store all the character and the frequency that is present in the first string. Now we will iterate over the second string and see if integer existing equal to character. So the same piece of code that we have written above, t dot caret I out 0. If okay, we are optimizing bit further. So if this value is not present, okay, and the value that we are getting is 0, we can directly return false, right? Because it should have been there, this character, and it should have some frequency here, right? Otherwise what we can do is character frequency dot put t dot char at I, and then we will insert the value that is minus exist. We are decrementing the value back, and now iterate over the map of this character integer and each entry of character frequency dot entry set. Okay, so we are iterating over the map that we the frequency map that we have, and see if this entry dot get value is somehow not equal to 0, then return false. Okay, else return true. Okay, so we have this code. I think you got it. If you have any doubt, you can write in the comment section. And okay, so I will test this now to the LeetCode platform that we have. Let's run the example test. Okay, so all the test cases are passing, so let's submit it. Okay, so it's accepted solution. Now to proceed further, we have one more efficient way to solve this question. That is the most efficient way, I think. And so in any language, in any programming language, we have this ASCII representation of characters. So if we go to this site here, each character can be represented as some ASCII value, right? So we have all the lower case, so our value will vary from 97 to 122, right? So what we can do is we can use one array of integer and use these values to check we have this character present or not, right? So let me show you in the diagram. What we can do is, if we have this character A, B, and B, C, okay, this character is there. So these characters are there. So what we can do is we can create an int array of so this is having a total length of 26, so the index will vary between 0 to 25. Okay, so for the first index we want to represent A here, and if the A is present, then we will have a value 1. If B is present, the second value that we will have is 1. Then again B is there, then we will increment this value to 2. Then C, we have this value as 1, and this rest of the elements will be 0 in this array. Okay, so this and then we have the other string, that is, let's say CABB. So if we operate on the same thing here, then again we will get the similar array here, right? So that will have 1 2 1 some 0 0 0 0, this array of integers, right? Then what we can do is we can check whether so instead of that we can also decrement the values as we inserted here, and we can ultimately see if this array if anywhere in this array, if there is this for any index, if this value is not equal to 0, then we have to return false, right? So this is ultimately doing the same frequency thing that we did in our last approach. Okay, so let's better code it, and then I think you will understand what I'm trying to say here. So we have this S, then so let's iterate. Okay, we have to first create this integer array. This is character array, we can name it anything, this character, or we can say it like character frequency again, no problem. And then we have all the 26 alphabets in English. Okay, so to represent the first letter as that is A as 0, what we can do is we can so if we have A already present, right, then if we subtract A from it, then it will become as 0, right? So if we subtract A from B, then what we will get is ultimately 1. And so for Z, if we subtract it, what we will get is 25, right? So these are ultimately the index of this character array that represents each character, right? So now what we will do is we will iterate over each characters in this string. So and then increment or decrement the value, right? So character array, then s dot char@, I minus A, right? So that is the case that we have, and then we are incrementing this array value that is present there, right? And in similar fashion, what we can do is we can decrement the value for the second letter, right? So for I, for the second word, I is t dot length. So this array of t dot char@, I, and then we are subtracting to balance the indexes as starting from 0. So now if we iterate over this character array length, if any of the character array is not having this 0 value, it means some character was up and down in either of the string, right? So we have to return false, and then if all the iteration is complete, then return true here, right? So now now we can test this. So let's first run all the example tests. It's awesome, and submit this. So you will see, I think it should have a better runtime complexity as well, right? So yeah, that's one the final approach. Okay, so let me know if you guys have any doubt about any of the thing in this tutorial. I will try to answer every comment. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you very much.